focus on securing our border, combating the climate crisis, and protecting the fundamental rights of Americans.
That's great news. We're fighting the climate crisis, which apparently there is one. I haven't noticed, but there's a climate crisis. We're definitely tackling it, and securing the border. I guess all is well. Joining me now, Todd Bensman. He is the fellow at the Center for Immigration Studies. I love them, by the way. And he's also the author of the book Overrun, talking about the border. If you want to know what's actually happening at your southern border, which it's pretty horrifying to read, but I'm glad I read it. Todd, okay, let's talk about this for a moment. How overrun is the border? Because people will see TV and they see little social media clips, but they don't understand what's actually happening on the ground because most people ain't down there.
Well, in broad strokes, for 2.5 years, we have hit smashed a major record of one sort or another, month after month after month, year after year. We're now into the third year. We have never seen numbers this vast, not even close to this vast. 2.4 million apprehensions last year. We're headed to 3 million encounters this year. 1.7 million the first year. It's just millions and millions of people attempting to cross that border or crossing that border. And the main reason is that we have pursued policies that let them in. I'll just repeat that, let them in. When you let them in, they send selfies home to the home villages or, to relatives and people who are still on the way in, showing that they are in. And therefore, you should come in too in the same way, and here's how to do it. And because of that, we have had this just utter, human avalanche of a torrent of people coming through that border. And absolutely, this is a historic event in American history.
Okay, first of all, I want to focus on something because you know a lot about this stuff and we do not. Where are they coming from? Most Americans naturally, understandably think, well, they're all coming from Mexico. That's obviously not the case. That's not even half the case anymore. But they don't understand where. Where are these people coming from?
Well, they're coming from 160 countries from around the world that are not Mexico or Central America. They're coming from the entire globe has heard about the open gate, and they're coming for it. I've met probably immigrants from every single country on the continent of Africa. I can't think of one that I haven't met somebody from. A couple of weeks ago, I met my very first Dagestanis from Dagestan. I met in my hotel in Matamoros, was absolutely filled with Kyrgyzstanis, Kyrgyz. They called themselves Kyrgyz, coming from Belarus, Russia, every country of the Middle East. Really, there's nowhere in the world that they're not coming from. The issue here is that probably 45% of everyone who is reaching the border is not from your grandparents' border crisis of Mexicans and Central Americans, although plenty are. They're coming from dangerous places with terrorist organizations, lots coming from China right now, thousands, 10,000 coming from China just since October. So that's what we're facing.
Okay, and I know that I'm about to ask you the broadest, lamest question in the world, so take as much time as you need, but I really want to know, why are they coming? I know that's a complicated answer that will differ because there's so many people coming, but why?
I mean, actually, it's not that complicated because, remember, I spend a lot of my time with the immigrants on the trail. I've interviewed thousands of them about this. Most of them are coming from countries that are just no good. I mean, nobody wants to live in Haiti. It's not necessarily political persecution, but there might be a chance to improve your lot in life if you can get over the U.S. border. So that's just a steady state. Nothing changed there. That's the way it has always been. for decades and decades. This country is better than other countries. That's just the way it is. What changes, what creates ebbs and flows and sudden spikes and decreases is American policy. That's the door, that's the hinge, that's the spigot. And what the administration did, the Biden administration did when they first got into office, is they opened the spigots wide. They said, we're going to take all families. Any family that crosses, they get in, we're going to get them in. All unaccompanied minors, if you cross without a parent, you're going to get in. All pregnant women, 6 months or more, you're going to get in. And then in the meantime, we'll be so busy processing your papers into the country of millions of those people that we're going to leave the border undefended and unguarded. And so 1.7 million have crossed in just running in into the interior. So altogether, right. I mean, it's just a complete chaotic situation down there that is entirely due to policy decisions that the immigrants are paying very, very close attention to. They're very smart, very rational. They're not going to lay down $5,000 or $10,000 in smuggling fees unless they have a really good assurance that they're going to get in and stay in. Otherwise, you're not spending that kind of money. I wouldn't, you wouldn't, nobody would, and neither would they. So it's all about weighing the odds that you're going to get in, and most of them are guaranteed entry under this administration. So they're laying that smuggling money down and they're coming.
Okay, where are they going once they're here, and what do they do? How do you find a job? Do they find a job? Where are they going, and what are they doing?
It depends. Well, first of all, to the question of where they're going, I always ask them, where are you going? So I know they're going to every city in America, large, small, in the interior, in the heartland, on the both coasts, from Seattle down to San Diego, from Maine all the way down to Miami, and everywhere in between. Really just hundreds upon hundreds of thousands, and now millions of people have just flooded in. And they get on, when they cross the border, the administration gives them quick release papers, and within 24, 48 hours, they're on a bus to wherever they want to go, with a pinky finger agreement that they will turn themselves in voluntarily to an ICE office at some point and figure it out later. But in the meantime, some of them are given work authorizations. A lot of them are being given work authorizations if they come in a certain way. And the rest can just work illegally or qualify for local welfare. You know, cities, all the cities provide, welfare and housing subsidies and food and clothing and volunteer. And, New York's got them all in, gigantic hotels that are completely filled with immigrants. Everything's paid, food, clothing, everything. School is, of course, public schools are free. So there's just flooding into all of our public schools, which, by the way, are having to buy portable classrooms. I tell you, if there's a publicly traded portable classroom manufacturer, I'm buying that stock. But lots of school districts are having to have bond elections to spike the tax rate to pay for all these new influxes. None of them are insured. So they're all going on. Millions of people are going on to public, Medicaid and local state insurance plans, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the book is overrun. If you want to know what's actually going on down there, Todd, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the attention to the problem.
The Anti-Communist Manifesto, a new must-read book from Jesse Kelly. Get your copy today at jessekellybook.com or wherever books are sold.